Catwoman, issue 58. Tini Howard writing, Nico Leon on the art. Matt didn't quite finish this. He was rushing it in and didn't quite get it all done. I did read it, unfortunately.
So like I've been gone the last couple to talk about. I do like the reveal that Marquise is Scandal Savage. It's a character I have a lot of affection for. From what?
I did not enjoy that reveal. Thank you, Matt.
So no, I like that just because the idea that she's around means that we're a little bit closer to maybe getting a Sinister Six book back.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
Sinister Six.
I just
Secret Six.
Like the entire concept of this book just being jettisoned aside because now Vandal Savage has secretly built his own League of Assassins is just I like whatever. And Scandal Savage is such a stupid name. It's always been a stupid name. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I do like the character just because she's her father's daughter, but in just a different way, right? And that was the whole Secret Six, her learning about love and to trust other people, something that her dad didn't do. However, the idea of him assembling these things is as far as I got. Him assembling these different things that have the meteorite fragment in it, and it's going to be able to give people immortality. I'm like, wait, so this is where this Batman Catwoman book is going?
Yeah, it's the whole concept of the Gotham War seems to be like completely. It's almost
gone.
It's like it's not forgotten because Batman and Catwoman are still talking because they've barely realized that Vandal Savage and what he's up to yet. Well, I mean Catwoman kind of knows by the end of this issue, but it just kind of feels like we're just doing a Vandal Savage story now. This isn't the whole idea of them fighting each other because they've got these opposing views of what to do in Gotham, which on paper could be a great story, was not that good in how it was executed, and now it's just been completely left by the side because we've got other things to do now. We've got a villain to deal with. So, yeah, this has just been painfully generic, ultimately, which is a shame. There's like a kind of a sweet moment with Batman and Catwoman at the start where he's kind of like vulnerable and sort of cries in her arms, but then sort of toughens up again, and that's okay.
I want her to just pet his head and stop being a dumb boy. You know what I mean? Like, just... You're the reason that we're fighting, bro. Like, just stop.
Yeah, but obviously everyone acting so out of character, and what Bruce did to Jason is so monstrous. And I know it's meant to be like Zur-En-Ar's like kind of influencing him, and he doesn't realize it. But it feels. I don't like any of it.
No.
There's a weird moment here actually at the end of this rooftop scene where there's explosions across the city in the background before the rooftop they're on explodes. Well, I thought the visual was cool. I thought it was a bit weird that neither of them seemed to notice that there's these other explosions before. Like, because when their building explodes and they fall, obviously they notice that because they're like trying to save. But like they're looking out in the direction of these explosions across. It's like, I don't care how far away it is. If it's visible, you're going to notice an explosion happening.
Yeah, I just thought they're so wrapped up in each other's eyes. They didn't notice the city exploding. It's like, that's not as romantic as you think it is, J.D. Howard. Like, that kind of means they're bad at their jobs.
Yeah. And then we think Catwoman's talking to Vandal and Scandal. Stupid name. Let's just pick something that rhymes with Vandal. Bunch of hacks.
Scandal Savage.
But it turns out to be Lady Clayface, who's just getting intel. So she gets decapitated. And I
got worried that was Selena and we're going to use the immortality thing to bring her back.
No, I was expecting an instant reveal of something. Right. So what's funny is I wanted to complain about the art here, actually, because obviously... Nico's actually a very good artist, right? One of the best things about this book is the art is pretty solid. But there is something here I wanted to critique. And in a weird way, the fact that it turns out to be Lady Clayface could technically absolve it, but I don't think it's meant to be Lady Clayface using their powers. I think it is just dodgy art. And that is... So, right before the decapitation, there's a page where the middle panel is like Vandal's got his sword, and then Catwoman's sort of in a like fighting pose, right? If you look at Catwoman's legs, the way she's got her legs stretched out in this like sort of karate pose, right? But her high platform, high-heeled shoe is still flat on the ground is physically impossible. Like, she would have to angle that back onto the heel. And it makes it look like her ankle is doing some weird, like bend that is just physically impossible. Technically, because it's...
You're absolutely correct.
Now, I know it's
Lady
Clayface technically could pull this pose off, but I don't think it's meant to be doing that. I think it's just bad art. What do you stare at that?
I'm starting to think how that would work, because the way the ankle is up on the point, right? When you wear heels like that.
If anything, it looks like she's taking her foot out of the shoe, and it's just kind of in her like leg sleeve.
In the cuff of it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks weird. Yeah, it's a dodgy proportion in one panel. This is not me shitting on the artist as a whole. Like, I think the art's pretty solid. Yeah. But yeah, it turns out Billy the Clayface, who obviously is going to go and tell. So there was a tease in one of the issues before that a bunch of the villains were meeting each other in a meeting. Vandal goes to this meeting. Turns out Firefly's the one who blew up some of the buildings, and Vandal's like, hey, you all can be my lieutenants, and I'll give you immortality, blah, 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 blah. But then at the end of it, he sort of says to himself, oh, they think they're my generals, but they're not. Like, I don't think he's going to give immortality out to anyone. This is all for himself, and we all know it. So, that's that. Jason, who's all scared right now because of the stuff that Batman gave him, he still tries to be a hero because there's a girl trapped in one of the burning buildings from the fires. And the scene kind of ends with him just picking up the girl and saying that he's scared too, which I actually thought was a good little moment because it kind of felt like he was just sort of getting himself through it. But then when we come back to this in a couple of minutes with the other characters finding him, it turns out he got so scared that he's just trapped in there with her now and he has to be rescued by Catwoman or someone later. There's a scene before that where Catwoman steals the dagger that Vandal's after that's got some of the meteor in it. She ends up fighting Scandal a bit on a rooftop as Scandal's like, no, this is good for us. And Catwoman's like, no, I trained all these people to be self-sufficient, not be lackeys to get immortality from your dad. Blah, 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 blah. She goes to Bruce, and they talk about Jason, and they go looking for him. And they find him in the fiery building. The art here is quite good in the fiery building, to be fair, at least. And they save him. And Selina points out that, yeah, you took away his ability to do anything, but you still raised him to be a hero. He's still going to see people in trouble and want to help them, and that's why he's put himself in danger here. So you see how you've messed him up, kind of thing. And again, separately from the plot of this book, right, separately from the whole Gotham War stuff, if you want to tell me a story where Zur-En-Arrh forces Batman to do something this horrific to Jason, the idea that his relationship with Catwoman is what brings him back from the brink, where Catwoman's able to get through to him because they love each other. I actually think that sounds like a fine idea on paper. It's just all these things kind of smashed together. I feel like none of them are being executed in a way that is satisfying to me. Anywho, so yeah, the issue ends with all those villains that Vandal was trying to get to work for him. They all show up as a team at the end. So we got Two-Face, we got Professor Peg, we got Mad Hatter, we got Scarface, who's dressed as Batman and Robin with his ventriloquist. We got Firefly.
I kind of hate this at the end right now.
Sure.
Yeah, just because now that means they know that Batman's Bruce Wayne? Or did Vandal just give him all of this Batman stuff? Like,
I don't think they know where he got it from. Because earlier on he said, hey, I've recently come into a collection of some of the best tech in Gotham. And he's given them all various Batman things. Who is that wearing? That's Black Mask wearing the Batman armor, right? Yeah. He's got the chest plate on.
Black Mask, Pig, Hatter, Ventriloquist, and Scarface. Although it would have been funnier if Ventriloquist was Batman, or if Scarface was Batman and
I was going to say
Ventriloquist
is Batman.
Yeah.
I was going to say
yeah, the other way around. But then I always hate when they give us Killer Moth and Firefly.
They're a pair.
Are they always a pair?
Well, not always, but I feel like a lot of stories pair them together because they're similar. Yeah. That you just they're fine, they're together.
And all the stuff with Two-Face too just kind of undoes all the things that we did in Detective with him about learning.
That's just one of those things where they're not syncing up together. You just have to take them separately.
No, I know. I don't like seeing them there. That's all. Because I buy all these other jamokes.
I mean, the Scarface outfit thing, I think that's just down to it's more realistic that the Robin outfit fits him. And then the Batman cowl, and it's the old 60s Batman cowl that fits the ventriloquist, if I can speak properly. I'm a little concerned it says to be continued in Red Hood 2. I'm hoping that's not correct and it is just the final one-shot, because that's all I'm going to read. I'm not reading the Red Hood book.
So I tried to read that one and it wasn't.
Well, Connor was forced to for Patreon, so someone talked about it.
You guys, that's why I don't do this, because you guys can't be trusted. Yeah. So no, in that one, did he talk about it here already?
Yeah, he talked about it last.
It's just basically a
week,
flashback on how Jason ended up working with her. So if they make it the next part, it doesn't go with the rest of.
That'll be annoying if it's the next part,
Yeah.
but I could see it being the next part because I could see it being the aftermath of this, where he was found scared, annoyingly. But Corin will just have to tell us about it next time he's on, which admittedly might be after the whole event's done. It may be too late, but
yes,
tough tits. He has to talk about it anyway. So yeah, mixed bag. It's kind of just like the next part of the event, and I think there's some good concepts in the event, and I've been saying that since the very start of it, but they don't really mesh together, and I wish the execution was better on all of them, and separately in different stories probably as well at that. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the art is mostly fine, even good, really good in some scenes depending on what's going on. The fire stuff looks great, but then there's also that dodgy body of Catwoman in that one page that really made me laugh. So,
yeah,
you know, what are you rating Batman? Or sorry. Well, you never finished it. Suppose you.
No,
can't.
I never finished it. So I was like, don't let me do that.
Okay, yeah, I'll just give it like a 5.5. I think for me. I think it's just sort of in the average kind of range. I would say, you know, it's not horrendously bad by any means, but I'll be glad that when we're back to just having to read Batman and not another book that ties into it.
True.
I'll be happy for that. Thank you very much.